Good morning, friends. Morning, good morning. Happy Monday. I think. How y'all doing? Morning, and Ninja, and Pian Dune, Neuropunk Nonsense, Gavin, Elemental, Ninja again, Cat Sequentially, and H. Hey, you made it. And hi, Constance and Gavin on YouTube. Yay, our YouTube is up. The first time instead of having to restart everything. It is a Monday. It feels like a Monday. Hello also from Manitoba. Hi, Wanderin. Welcome. Sean of the Yukon, I don't know if you're in the chat, but thank you for the YouTube subscription this morning. How was everybody's weekend? Hi, Moose. Hi, Jabbers. Hi, Faya. I forgot today was Monday. Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish. I will say, though, I got up, had my alarm set for 7:30 to bring kiddo to school, and I woke up and I'm like, he's not awake yet. So we all had a bit of a sleep in this morning. We didn't wake up till close to 9, which is very unusual. And we had a late start this morning. I brought her in and her teacher goes, "Everything okay?" I'm like, "Yep." Yeah. Teacher's like, "Grade 1 is hard." I'm like, "Yeah, grade 1 is a hard transition." She's struggling a little bit. But all is well. Constance is struggling with tendonitis. Oh, that's so brutal. Is it in your elbow? I'm trying to remember. I know you told us. I totally forget. Let's see if the YouTube subscription actually shows up. Thanks, Lucky. I see you. Hi, Siege. The weird thing is that I heard the YouTube subscription sound go off before I was live. Elbow/forearm. Ugh, brutal. Draw the line one. Is that the one in Ottawa? Or is that a different one? Morning, little taters. Well, Lucky, I appreciate your subscription. It's just that YouTube doesn't want to announce it. Because YouTube and OBS aren't speaking this morning, I guess. Yeah, see, that works. Bonjour, Courtney Coppertone. Hi, Rock and Roll Jans. Good morning. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the Ottawa stuff this morning, because there was quite a few things that went on in Ottawa this weekend. Draw the Line is one of them. And they had the people that walked through and read all the names. Glitch sounds crackling. Yeah, my mic has been not super great. Is anyone else having issues with that? Let me know if you are, and I will re-plug in my mic. Hi, Morgan. Otherwise good? Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Oh boy. Good morning, YouTube friends. Bonjour. How's everyone doing? Work Wi-Fi is trash. Boo. I'm a little low on my board. Oh, yes I am. Whoop. So, mic seems fine. Okay, good. Couple of things this morning. You may notice that we have a beautiful fall background. I am nothing if not the stereotypical white girl. And fall is my thing. And I was chatting with Morgan this weekend, and both of us were like, yeah, that just like the plain frame with the weird like stucco background is weird. So Morgan put together this adorable little coffee shop desk type situation. And we can, yeah, that's right, it is the first day of fall. I figured this was a good thing. Autumn is the best season. We don't get enough autumn in Alberta. That is one of the things that I miss the most about living in Ottawa, is actually having a fall. That is the best. It's the best smelling season. It's all the colors. The trees started changing today, and you're driving through. I mean, Alberta has brown, orange, and a little yellow. So our colors aren't as beautiful as, you know, the Ottawa colors. Morgan is awesome. We love Morgan. And she, yeah, put together this little fall pumpkin spice cozy chatting thing for me. And I super appreciate it because now I feel extra cozy. I've got my, my pumpkin spice latte. Do I give free pumpkin spice lattes? Oh, for the money. Yeah, that's accurate, Family of Terror. I've been there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. My mom's getting married this weekend, and we're all hoping that the leaves are turned enough that she'll get some really nice fall pictures. She's got all the fall colors for all the stuff. You're over stinky because of a building fire inspection? Ugh, brutal. Costco came out with I guess not Costco. Tazo Tea has their like chai, matcha, London Fog concentrates. Yeah, phones are the worst. And I finally got out and got the pumpkin spice one, and y'all, it's real good. Cheers to you, Morgan. Oh, did you guys get a freeze Ninja Cupcake? It was snowing in Inuvik. Wow. Happy fall to you, H? I guess not so happy fall. The trees all went all at once. Weird. I know we had a windstorm here last night, but it didn't get rid of all the leaves. Morning, Pim. You want snow? I don't know if I'm ready for snow, but I am done with the heat. It's going to be so hot here this week yet. Like close to 30 every day. Ugh. For that, well, let me read that. No sun, no snow, just sign me up for wind and rain. Okay. Fair enough. Quiet isolation. Yeah, I can see that. Wow, that's fast, Ninja Cupcake. I'd say we've got 25% yellow here. Oh, fair. That just means that Vapor drew a really great hippo. I'm not ready for snow either. Oh, so Bernie Coppertone, I was sick all week last week. I'm sort of at the tail end of it. You can probably hear it in my voice. But Bobby woke up with the cold this morning. We were at a birthday party yesterday, and all the little kids there had the flu. It was just, it's the time of year, right? It's the end of September. They're all sort of sharing germs. So we'll be chugging orange juice and washing our hands constantly all week this week. So we are okay by the wedding. You're a big fan of breezy season. Oh, where I live in southern Alberta, it is windy here all the time. All the time. And we're talking like 80 to 100k winds. Those are not fun. The pumpkin spice hand sanitizer. I went to Winners the other day, and they had pumpkin spice body spray and pumpkin spice shampoo, and I was like, okay, I feel like I know where to draw the line. I almost bought pumpkin spice Cheerios this morning, but that's okay. We're okay. We're just drinking our latte. You're not ready for 7 months of darkness. That's right, H. What's the shortest day you get? And when does that usually happen? Yeah, Van Island is definitely not equipped for snow. Ah, that's smart, Ninja Cupcake. We are going to see so much of H. December 21st, when you get 30 minutes of some sun. Oh, friend. Hey, it's okay, Siege. You take care of you. Don't worry about us. We're here when you come back. When I first start feeling sick, I boil some water. Sometimes I'll add in green tea, but most of the time it's just lemon and honey. I ginger sometimes. I never thought about doing garlic though. That makes sense. Just a little sun as a treat. That's right. December 21st is the shortest day of the year. Yeah. Wait until Christmas and practically the internet then. Okay, H. Yeah, lazy. That's where we're at this morning too here. Less sun in South AB. I say that because my eyes are super sensitive too, but like, I need the sun, man. I need it. Oh, I know, Constance. 30 minutes of sun, I don't think I could do it. Do you guys buy, like, sun lamps, H? Because I live in southern Alberta, where we get sun like crazy. And they are still people that I know that buy sun lamps in the winter. I am one of them. Because if there's like a week where we don't see the sun because it's cloudy out, I am so tired and have no motivation. Brutal. Host jamborees and outdoor events when the sun comes up. Okay. Yeah, Guernsey. That's fair. I love BC. I love Vancouver. I love the island. I love all those places. I guess the island is better, but I couldn't do the rainy season. I just couldn't. I love rain. I love feeling cozy, but I need the sun. How are you going to get one in this economy? Oh. You don't get rain anymore? Yeah, I guess. Your uncle has a bunch of smart bulbs set to sunrise, day, and dusk. That's smart. Yeah, the interior does get more rain. You're right. You have a sun lap and you're at 45 degrees latitude. Yeah. I know. We got quite a bit of rain here this year, which was nice. Like I said last week, like our smoke season didn't start until a couple weeks ago. $5,000 shipping. The rain ran away from me. Well, siege, it just means you gotta move to Alberta where the rain went. I am just loading up our first story here for the day. I've got quite a bit of stuff. We'll see how far we get because there is question period today, I believe, at noon. And right now they are doing debates. No, they are not. They are not live currently. Okay. We'll maybe do QP later. We'll see if it's going to be as dry as it was last week. We might skip it, but when your partner lived in London, hated the rainy season. Yeah, those areas get a lot of rain. Your university has sun lamps. That's smart. That is very smart. Yeah, I bet, Pim. That would be a huge shift. Also, for both of the chats, I am going to figure out a way to either merge the chats or something so you guys can see each other, but one battle at a time, and at least today YouTube is working. Unionized chat, that's right. Yeah, I know you can, Gavin. I am so grateful that I have all the tech smarties. Bernie says, speaking of smoke season, I'm amazed that in Quebec you had a decent season. Of course, we had the Manitoba smoke, but no major fire in Quebec per se. Yeah, that is a good thing. Chat solidarity. All right. Yeah, I know the days seem so long in the summer, and it always feels like they get darker faster every year in Alberta. Where it's like, it's only like October 1st. Why is it dark at 4 o'clock? Not quite, but close. All right, let's see if I can make this go smoothly. You guys can see, now you can see YouTube for a minute. I'll move me over, and then you can take a look at YouTube. Whee. Hi, YouTube. We see you. "24 sunlight is badass." Yeah. Hi, YouTube. Ugh, but we lost Spotify here, of course. There we go. All right. Indiana's faces when they call in July and it's light 11 p.m. I know. Hello, YouTube. All right. Let's take a look at our first story for today. Some positive-ish news to start. I'm sure you've all seen this weekend. Let's put YouTube over here so I can still see you. Go. Oh, I'm rejecting the Guardian, y'all. Alright, now I can see YouTube. Excellent. Alright. You need good news. Well, here is some. Canada recognizes the state of Palestine and offers to build peaceful future with Israel. They do want me to know that, Stu. Why am I rejecting the Guardian? Because who has money to pay for every single website all the time? I will. I need to get some subscriptions, but yeah. We'll get there. Alright. Prospect of a two-state solution has gravely eroded due to Hamas. Of course. I thought I had... Nope, we just have ads. I do need more Patreons to get those subs. We'll talk about Patreon and thanks, Morgan, in a sec, because we've updated the Patreon. So one of the things that Carney really focused on, which is one of the things that I think all of the leaders are focusing on, is Hamas's role. Yeah. Hey, Sean. Welcome in. You made it. Good morning. Due to Hamas, that's, yeah. Over many decades, Canada's commitment to a two-state solution was premised on the expectation that this outcome would be achieved as a negotiated settlement. However, that possibility has been eroded by Hamas-led attack on Israel, then the Israeli parliament's resolution supporting the annexation of occupied West Bank, and the restrictions on humanitarian aid. So, again, Hamas. This is shortly before... Oh, they got there. The announcement comes as Carney prepares to meet with the world leaders. The UK also recognized Palestine. And France. France will announce today. Pierre Poilievre said recognition is another effort by Carney to distract from his record of rampant crime, blah, 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 blah. Conservatives will always stand for Israel's right to exist and defend itself, living next to a future demilitarized, terror-free, democratic, and peaceful Palestinian state. Morning. You're going? You're gonna have to help me with the pronunciation on that one. But yes, finally some. Hamas said in a statement that the recognition by Canada, as well as the UK, is an important step in maintaining the right of our Palestinian people to their land and holy sites. Yeah, it's a whole mess, Blue Cherry Teddy. Yep. I think it's important, this is Bob Ray, for us to make it clear, including, frankly, the government of Israel, that we do not think that the annexation of any other possible political path is a route that's sustainable or in the best interest of Israel. Pim. Breaking news. PP continues to waste taxpayer dollars with the same old, same old. Yep. The Israeli embassy is very disappointed. Dragon. Okay. Well, welcome in anyway. Good morning. It only rewards Hamas, says the embassy. We compel the government to reverse this decision. He is shocked that it happened so quickly, which is bizarre because it has taken them way longer than it should have. Oh yeah. A group of US Republicans wrote a letter to Carney, Starmer, Macron, and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, calling recognition a reckless policy that undermines prospects for peace. Which... There's not much Palestine left that Israelis have not already effectively annexed, but this may mark the turn in Palestinian history that will finally allow Palestinians to realize statehood. However, they still have not called it what it is, which is a genocide. However, the United Nations in Geneva concluded that Israel has committed genocide and that top Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, had incited these acts. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Years late and too slowly. Oh, the Guardian's real rejected this morning. The UK has recognized Palestine, as well as Australia. The Israeli Prime Minister immediately condemned it, calling it absurd and a reward for terrorism. Starmer said, Hamas is a brutal terror organization. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the opposite of their hateful visions. This is not a reward for Hamas. So this is the UN members here, and what year they recognized Palestine as a state. So you can see up here in 2025, we've got Canada, Mexico, Australia, Spain, France, all of these other countries, long time ago. Long time ago. It is embarrassing and shameful. You are correct. United States, still nothing. Of course. This is the Washington Post. The Sunday announcements were made a day before the start of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and seemed timed, in part, to avoid issuing statements to anger the Israeli government. Okay. Britain's shift has a special resonance given its controversial history. Yeah. Governing what is now Israel and Palestine territories in the early 20th century, after making what critics say were unclear and contradictory promises to the Arabs and the Jews in the region. Britain has long urged the sides to negotiate, but it held off recognizing in advance of a settlement. A whole lot of like, oh, we can't say anything, we'll let them figure it out for themselves. We don't have to step in. Yes, this is still a win, Moose. You're absolutely right. This is still a win. Starmer said he would recognize the state of Palestine. He would or would not, unless Israel agreed to a ceasefire deal with Hamas, committed to a two-state solution, and ruled out annexing the occupied West Bank. None of those conditions were met. Rather, Israel has renewed its assault on Gaza. Yeah. I love this. Britain's announcement, though expected, provided striking coda to Trump's pomp and committee-filled state visit. Yeah, Blue Terry Teddy, I'm going to say I have very little knowledge of the history, hey Leonard, of the history of Israel and Palestine. It's something that I'm hoping to continue to learn about, but I will not claim to have the right answer to what it is that they need when it comes to peace in the region and, you know, ensuring that their citizens are safe and all of those things. I don't claim to have the answers for that. I just, it's a move in the right direction. 140 countries already recognized Palestinian statehood. However, this will not amount to a promotion to full nationhood within the world body. That would depend on a vote in the UN Security Council, where the US remains ready to veto such proposals. So we'll see. The value and the momentum towards statehood remains for now symbolic. We'll see. There's it's hard to look at that and go, you know. Yes, Pim, correct. Everyone is focused on recognizing Palestine while Gaza is being erased. The Palestinians' growing status as a recognized nation could help clarify the conflict. It's not just Israel occupying, it's a state occupying another state. That was the dynamic when Iraq invaded Kuwait, spurring a massive international response. So, we've made some steps in the right direction. This is definitely it's definitely a start. Speaking of Palestine, we've got some sting. Yeah, maple takes is great. I do like maple takes here. There was a protest in Ottawa over the weekend. And we are going to listen to this man speak for a couple minutes. His name is Jeff Houlihan, organizer of the Say Their Names project. So let's hope that this will capture the audio. It should.
Hey, listen!
Thanks, Stu. Let's try that again.
Hi, my name's Jeff Houlihan. I'm one of the organizers of the March to Ottawa, and we arrived here on Monday and began saying the names of the children who've been murdered in Gaza to honor and remember them. And, you know, those names, we should be saying them every single hour of every single day in every single city and town in every country around the globe. Those names should not be able to leave our heads until Palestine is free. But we've come to Parliament Hill for a specific reason in Ottawa, because we're not just here to remember and honor those children. We're here to pressure our MPs to do something about it so that list doesn't continue to grow. When they read the names in Montreal, there was 18,400 names. Reading this week, there's over 20,000 names. That list continues to grow because Canada and countries around the world do nothing to try and stop it. We sent invitations to every single MP, personal invitations, 3 of them. We sent the first 3 weeks ago, another 10 days ago, and one on Monday. And of 343 MPs, 8 have chosen to stand with us and say the names of the children murdered in Gaza. So it will take me, but it's taken us 4 days reading from the youngest to the oldest to get to the 15-year-olds. 28 hours. It will take me 20 seconds to tell you the names of the MPs that have stood with us. Alexander Boulris, Heather McPherson, Leah Gazin, Don Davies, Salma Zahid, Gord Johns, Jenny Kwan, and Sean Casey. "335 MPs decided they couldn't stand with us. This is a House of Commons 2 years ago who rose to give a standing ovation to a Nazi World War II war criminal. This is a House of Commons who on Monday could rise to their feet and give a standing ovation for Charlie Kirk, who, whatever else he is not an innocent. And they can't walk 100 steps from their office to stand with us. We don't need a standing ovation. To stand with us and say the names of children murdered in Gaza. And they tell us every day that they're doing all they can. We are being gaslit, Canada, because it's clear when they say they're doing everything they can't walk from their offices to stand with us and say names. And for Canadians who are still not sure who's right here, who say, well, what about Hamas? What about October 7th? At this point, you need to understand that this is the final step in the Zionist project. That is what this is. It is the final solution for Israel to the problem of the Palestinian people. But think about this if you're not sure who's in the right here. The people who are calling for an arms embargo, a transparent two-way arms embargo, who are calling for economic sanctions, who are calling for strict adherence to international law, are people who have come from across Canada to read the names of the murdered children of Gaza. We have a family here that has driven from Edmonton with their 4 kids just to bear witness. People from Ottawa taking time off their lunch, leaving early from work, coming in the evenings to stand with us and say those names. These are the people who are demanding arms embargoes, economic sanctions, and strict adherence to international law. And who are the people that don't want to do that? Who don't want an arms embargo? Who don't want economic sanctions? Who don't want strict adherence to international law? They're the people that can't walk 100 steps and stand with us and say those names. So if you're having trouble deciding who's right here, this should make it clear for you. And what this tells us is we can't count on our government to do things here other than that small handful of 8 MPs whose names I've read. We can't count on them to make decisions in a principled, moral way. Our MPs, they act out of fear. They want to protect their power, their prestige, their pensions, their paychecks. That's how they make their decisions. So Canadians have to make them fear regular Canadians and our voting power, to tell them that this issue, the genocide in Gaza, is the voting issue. And if they do not take action on this, they will not receive your vote again. Make them more afraid of regular Canadians and their voting power than the pro-Israel.
I can't, Stu. I'm sorry. There is no closed captioning,
Where
unfortunately.
your MP is on this, we've created a wall of shame, identifying every MP.
It should have, but it doesn't.
March to Ottawa. Identifying the MPs that would not come and stand with us. And there are a couple of notable MPs. Talib Nur Mohammed agreed to say names and then declined for security reasons.
Oh, sorry, Siege.
Faris Al-Soud also agreed to come but then there was concerns that our group was non-compliant with regulations. MPs are looking for excuses not to stand with us. It's too politically risky. And what is it that we're doing? It is peacefully saying the names every day. People stepping up to those microphones. When they leave, for many of them, they've had to pause several times so that they aren't speaking through tears. This is a political risk for our MPs. And security, these are the people that they're afraid of. So we can't count on our government to do this without us pressuring them. And so today, this is a day where the Summit Flotilla has been on the water for 19 days. They've called for people around the world for a general strike in support of them. What I would say is to workers around Ottawa, particularly workers with the Public Service Alliance, government workers, your union has taken a strong stance against the genocide in Gaza. Please join us today on Parliament Hill, either to say names or just to bear witness to saying those names. And then stay with us through the afternoon and into the early evening when we will meet at the Museum of History at 6 p.m. and march back to Parliament Hill, flooding the streets of Ottawa. And so for us, today will be the last day that we get to stand, say the names of those murdered children, bear witness that the violence that's been done to them, and try and convince our government to take real action on this. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched part of that yesterday, and I just thought, we can sit here and listen to a bunch of MPs argue about nothing, or we can listen to someone who's actually doing something. Yeah. Pretty powerful stuff. And I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find any actual video of them reading out the names. I was hoping to find that. And if someone does find it, by all means share links, because I would love to see
For their people.
Video footage of that. But they went and they read every single name. There's people that have also sewn all of the names of the children onto fabric. Pretty powerful stuff. We love seeing action. We do. Absolutely do. All right, let's do, where'd it go? Listen to the voices of people doing something does, yeah. And just like the way that he speaks was so clear, and yeah. And I love that he put the standing ovation thing in there too. Like, we don't need a standing ovation. You know, they stood for Charlie Kirk. Why can't they stand for the thousands and thousands and thousands of children who have died? Hi, U235. Good morning. How are you? You're good? I'm so glad. Welcome to the stream. Alrighty. Rainy Toronto. Yeah, that's less than ideal. I am too, Blue Terry Teddy. I thought that was a very powerful point. Alright, let's have a quick chat about what happened on Friday, which was the first reading of an act to amend the criminal code as it relates to hate propaganda, hate crime, and access to religious or cultural places. I don't remember how long this is. Yeah, no, we're not going to listen to the 30 minutes of this.
Before I begin, on a personal note, I would like to take an opportunity to say happy anniversary to my wife if she's watching. We will hopefully make it to our flight on time so we can celebrate dinner this evening. Sarah, I love you. It's been a wonderful 16 years.
Alrighty then. I'm just going to let him speak about the bill quickly and then we'll move on.
Good day, everyone. Earlier today, I tabled a bill in the House of Commons to help protect Canadians against hate. One of the great promises of Canada is the ability of our citizens to live freely in their communities.
Hate is the problem, y'all.
Regardless of the color of their skin, the God they pray to, or the person that they love. Sadly, too many Canadians are robbed of these freedoms that so many of us take for granted. Frankly, the prevalence of hate crimes in this country that steal those freedoms are something that should shock the conscience.
That's what the Liberals are real good at, Pim.
It is disheartening when you read the news and see day after day stories about yet another victim suffering suffering a hate crime at the hands of someone who is not simply conducting a criminal activity, but who's motivated by their hatred towards an entire group of people. Ce matin, j'ai déposé un projet de loi dans la Chambre des communes pour lutter de la haine partout dans le pays.
Unfortunately, y'all,
Une grande promesse du
I don't speak French.
Canada et pour assurer chaque Canadien à l'habilité de vivre leur vie avec liberté.
I'm sorry, I can't translate.
Avec de la haine.
I hope so, Pim.
Malheureusement, c'est très difficile pour des personnes qui viennent de la communauté en
Do you need to hire a translator?
minoritaire,
Let's go forward a little then.
Quand il y a des crimes for someone advocating genocide against their Jewish neighbors. We've seen recently synagogues in Halifax vandalized with hate symbols. We have seen violent attacks against people in Montreal because they are Jewish.
Constance, thank you.
We have seen the desecration of the National Holocaust Memorial. We have seen Muslim Canadians suffer discrimination for many years. We have seen, again, not far removed from my home, harassment of those seeking to attend a mosque which only recently opened in the community. We have seen shootings in Quebec cities and van attacks in London that have claimed the lives of innocent people. Sadly, there is no community that is immune from hate in this country. There are violent attacks against Black Canadians, rising anti-Asian hate. We see gurdwaras and mandirs vandalized, and the LGBTQ2+ community threatened with and suffering violence all too often. We are moving forward with a piece of legislation that will create 4 new criminal offenses. The first 2 are aimed at protecting religious institutions with the new crimes of obstruction and intimidation. This will ensure those who gather to practice their faith at religious institutions, schools, community centers, and other buildings and structures that primarily serve identifiable communities will have the ability to do so freely and without fear that they will be targeted because of who they are. We also have realized through many conversations with those impacted by hate crimes in Canada that hate is not limited to the doorsteps of our religious institutions, but is prevalent throughout the entirety of our communities. We see it in our streets, we see it in our parks, we see it in our grocery stores.
It is a mixed bag.
We see it almost everywhere. In addition to the campaign commitments around the crimes of obstruction and intimidation, we are moving forward with establishing a new crime of hate. This will operate by layering on top of existing criminal offenses with a new offense that will specifically target hate where that crime was committed because of their motivation of hatred towards the victim. You can imagine that it may be more morally culpable for a person who assaults another, not just because of a personal problem they may have, but because of their belonging to a community. If a person robs a store because the owner comes from a particular group, or if a person commits harassment against someone.
How are they going to determine this, though? You know, like someone gets arrested for stealing I don't know, a couple bags of chips or something out of a gas station. And the police go, well, did you know that the owner of this is from the Sikh community? Like, what person is going to be like, yes, also please add that to my criminal record?
Who is seeking to attend university classes merely because they belong to a particular community of faith or race. This behavior is not just morally culpable. The impact has reverberations through the entirety of a community, and I would argue tears at the seams of the social fabric of the nation. Pour contrôler la montée de la haine, notre gouvernement a déposé aujourd'hui à la Chambre un projet de loi qui modifie le code criminel pour promouvoir la haine, construction, intimidation, and hate.
So, from what I understand, Pam, they're going to enact a bubble. I think that's the official language that they've used. I don't know what that means, but maybe he says it here.
We are also moving forward with an additional offence of the willful promotion of hate through the use
Bye,
of
Brainy
hate symbols.
Coppertone. Thank you for
Specifically,
coming.
enumerated will be particular symbols associated with a period of history involving Nazis' discrimination against Jews and the targeting of Jews in the Holocaust, as well as
What else did they target, sir? Who else did they target?
the symbols specifically tied to listed terror organizations. In addition to these new offenses, we are taking certain steps that will make it easier for law enforcement to take action. This comes directly from feedback that we've had with conversations with law enforcement over the course of the summer, including adding a definition of hatred to the criminal code, which codifies the test laid out by the Supreme Court of Canada, as well as removing the requirement of the consent of a provincial attorney general in order to prosecute a crime of hate.
So, removing barriers to prosecute people for these hate crimes. Yeah, so they have, I think we talked about this on last week, but they have specific symbols that they're talking about. They could add a charge if they find evidence that accuses that, yeah, I'm going to rob this slur, for example. Yeah, Constance, they could. Whoa, I'm disconnected. Am I back, guys? Can you hear me? Hello? We can hear you? Okay. I just, in the chat, it just said disconnected from chat. So, okay, we're good. So specifically, they are the terrorist entities listed under the criminal code, which are these. So they're all the listed ones there. Those symbols are the ones that are not allowed.
This is important to allow police to do their job when they see hate in our communities. By way of conclusion, we cannot ignore hate in our communities and expect that it will not fester. If we do not take action, we will be responsible for the hate that will continue to impact communities across this country. I should mention as well that there are many behaviors that are despicable in this country that are characterized by hatred towards another that may not reach a criminal threshold. It is important that we do not fail one another as we have in too many instances in the past. When you see hate in your community, we have a responsibility to address it. It is my view that we are responsible in the end, not only for the acts that we commit, but for the instances where we see an injustice and choose to stand idly by.
That's a little rich. That's just a touch rich coming from someone in the Liberal government right now. Looking at injustices and choosing to stand idly by. They wouldn't be doing that with an entire country, would they? That's not what they're doing. Totally different. Yeah, neuropunk nonsense, that's a good question. All right, so this is the news release. Who has maple cookies? I do. They're right here. Is Diagolon on the list? That is a good question. Nope. Goes right from C to E. Right from C to E. So this is very specifically where they gather, or places where they're primarily used by an identifiable group. And conduct constitutes a hate crime. The law would streamline the process to lay hate propaganda charges by removing the requirement to obtain the Attorney General's consent. Oh, would not. Okay. The bill would not enact bubble zones that create protest-free areas. Bubble zone laws are enacted by provinces. For example, some provinces have established access zones around abortion clinics or for safe access to schools. Yeah, so what exactly they're talking about? Obstructing people from accessing, that's a pretty easy one to do, but make a hate-motivated crime a specific offense, ensuring such conduct is more clearly denounced. So, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, because it's only certain hate groups. Carson Jeremiah, I just love the title of this. Has Sean Fraser even read the criminal code? Oh, they're not gonna let me read it. Shoot. 2 seconds. Let's see if I can find a better place for that article. It could. It could absolutely. All right. The hateful anti-Israel protests, which is a good way to start an article, that celebrate terrorism could be contained if the country's political culture included respect for the rule of law.
Do it, lady.
Hey, Ralph Farnham's Space Pirate. What a great name. Yeah, Elemental, that's exactly it. And I don't know that they've clarified this enough to make this a doable thing that would actually protect people properly. Yeah. Okay. Under the criminal code, it is currently an offense to obstruct any person in the lawful use, enjoyment, or operation of a property. The Liberals made a crime to interfere religious property in 2017, but perhaps making it triply illegal will make a difference. The Liberal election platform also said the party plans to make it illegal to intimidate or threaten, which makes one wonder if anyone in the government has even read the criminal code, as intimidation is already an offense. Ugh, job the worst. Bye, Moose. Thanks for coming. It is entirely appropriate for laws to regulate the use of public and private property, but designing those laws to target political speech, no matter how vile, does the illegalness of the crime stack? Yeah, that's the question, right? What level of the law are they going to be charged under? There's already criminal hate speech provisions that make a willful promotion of hate. Yeah. Given that more hate speech legislation is not likely to solve the problem of anti-Semitism and other discrimination, what can be done? For starters, the federal government can send a clear signal to police that they will be supported if they enforce existing laws. Politicians cannot direct police to arrest specific people, but they can state that they expect mischief and intimidation laws to be consistently enforced. The challenge here is that the Liberal Party has a history of encouraging or discouraging the policing of illegal protests based on the politics. Yeah, Stu, you know. Another action that could be taken would be for the government to be more judicious in funding universities. That'll fix it. Professors who study questions like how capitalism is behind the conflict and other such nonsense, and the far-left anti-Semitic atmosphere have no business being funded by any level of government. Finally, immigration policy should be amended to deny entry to any newcomer with terrorist sympathies. Yeah. You know, the National Post. Well-known, middle-of-the-road. Yeah. Yeah, so they want us to do Trump stuff. Yep. The actual solutions require work, commitment, and expenditure of tremendous amounts of police capital. Hey, Potato Mage. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah. But we'll see. I'm sure it will get brought up in QP again. I want to see where they're at here. Oh, they're still doing statements. That is literally the point. Yep. We go to university. You said the university nonsense. The writer here is Carson Jeremiah. Whoopee. Carson Jeremiah? A comment editor. Based in Edmonton, he was raised in Calgary. He was previously Postmedia's national podcast lead. Bachelor of Arts in Political Studies and a Master of Arts from the University of Waterloo. Yeah. We fix our universities by funding them to make sure that teachers say only what we want them to say. Then, hate speech won't happen. Please explain to me how that next, because I don't understand. I don't understand. Alright, I have 2 or 3 more stories here. But what I thought we might do is take a peek at question period and see if Carney's in today. He has a master's degree and wants to restrict what universities can research. Yep. It doesn't connect. Correct. Yeah, Postmedia. Yeah. I mean, we can look at what Polyev said, but Polyev was basically like, crime is bad and there's more crime and also the budget. So I thought it would be more interesting to look at a different perspective on that, and yeah. It's a take. Alright, are they in? 5. Still doing statements. The budget! No! Yeah. I have a really quick story that came out this morning. I don't like to do as it's happening news. But we're gonna take a quick peek at this because, yikes. It is one of the takes of all time, Sean of the Yukon. You are correct. Alright, let's open that one instead. Sault Ste. Marie, progressive MMP.
Do it, lady.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Potato Mage. Sault Ste. Marie MMP Chris Scott removed from Ford's PC caucus after arrest on assault and assault with weapon charges. Yeah. The Sault Ste. Marie courthouse confirms Scott now faces those charges following an incident on Friday in the northeastern Ontario city. He was released after a court appearance on Monday, promising to abide by certain conditions, including not to contact specific people connected to the incident. Yeah. He worked as in Ford office as special advisor to the chief of staff. Hey H, this is an MMP in Ontario. An MPP, sorry. Chris Scott was removed from Ford's PC caucus after arrest on assault and assault with weapon. Business as usual. Yeah, just Ontario things. I love the name Potato Mage, too. I think that's a great name. Here we go. On September 21st, the Toronto Police Service arrested 35-year-old Chris Van Scott, also known as Chris Scott, following an investigation by detectives with the Sault Ste. Marie Police. They told him he appeared for bail on Monday and was granted release under a promise to pay $5,000. Potato Mancer was taken. I love it. Scott was elected for the first time in February, narrowly beating the NDP candidate in a little over 100 votes. I bet you make one hell of a potato. Yeah. So it doesn't actually remove him as an MPP, but he sits as an independent member. He's no longer a part of the progressive conservatives. Yeah, Neuropug nonsense. I bet they are regretting that choice now. So bizarre. We will not listen to this whole thing because it's Doug Ford talking about how awful encampments are.
Ontario. And the
But
regular fund. The old arena.
Follow-up question is, last week, Mayor of Ottawa, Mark Sutcliffe, announced that his goal is want to end.
At leisure help pave the way.
yes,
We're going to slow them down again. 4 years of this. We want. We know
in Ottawa.
men.
I'm sorry, this is really annoying. Anyway, he was asked at the press conference this morning, and he basically just said, like, I found out about this as I was walking in the parking lot to get here. I had no idea what was going on. God bless the people of Ontario. Oy. Oh, here,
Now
I think
take
it's the first
questions
question.
from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question. First question.
Hi, Mr. Ford. Gabriel from the French radio of CBC. We just learned a few minutes ago that the MPP from Sault Ste. Marie, Chris Scott, is no longer a member of the PC caucus. Can you tell us why?
Well, Chris will be no longer sitting with our caucus, and if I can ask you, you can ask Chris Scott the reason why.
And my follow-up question is, last week, Mayor of Ottawa, Mark Sutcliffe, announced that his goal is want to end youth homelessness by 2030. I know that you visit Campman this weekend in Barrie, Ontario, so I just want to have your thought about that.
Well, we're investing billions of dollars in homeless support right across our great province. I did visit one in Barrie, and it was terrible. Absolutely
I'm just
terrible.
gonna let this play for a minute.
You know, they went in and raided one place and found $9,000 cash in a tent. Why he's homeless with $9,000 cash, and it's through drugs. Massive amounts of weapons and massive amounts of ammunition. And these are places where people used to walk their kids in parks, and it doesn't matter where you are in Ontario. Why does less than 1% of the people take over a park for 99% of the population that uses it? It's unacceptable. We're going to move them on. We're going to get them proper housing and shelter, but it's not going to happen. We're going to work as hard as we can. When I say it's not going to happen, I'm tired of these encampments taking over communities. People are terrified to walk down the street because they get harassed for money for drugs. And up in Barrie, E. coli, they're by a creek, they're feces and go in the washroom, and the E. coli is going through the roof. And this is the water people drink. So enough is enough. I'm done with all this. It never happened. Like 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, we didn't have these problems. We didn't have the crime that we were facing. I'm done with the crime. The federal government has to get their butt moving on bail reform, Young Offenders Act, mandatory sentencing. I can tell you one thing. It's always the economy and healthcare. When we do our polling, crime is right beside it now. People are done with it. So we're going to clean that up. But the federal government has to change the criminal code. They have to stop dragging their feet and start moving on this. We want our communities back. We want our towns back and our cities back. And I'm not going to let less than 1% of the people hijack the whole system. I'm done with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Neville Hunt with the Community Voice newspaper in Canada. I've asked you questions about the Canada Lakes Golf Course in the past, but you've declined to answer because there was a case before the courts.
Yep.
Now that the Canada Lakes Golf Course legal appeal has been turned down by the Supreme Court, will the province use its authority in the Planning Act in any way, such as a ministerial zoning order?
And work things out. I do not condone any vandalism. Infrastructure. That one encampment, I think they found over, 80, 90 shelter places for them. 3 refused it or 4 refused it. I'm asking the guy that got caught with $9,000 in his tent, what are they doing? When I went there, a woman walked by a group of us and said, I could be murdered if they caught me talking to you. You know how much drugs are in that encampment? You know how much cocaine's in that encampment? I'm quoting her. And it's disgusting. It really is disgusting. We have put hundreds of millions of dollars for helping people with shelters. And then when you have people addicted to drugs, we're putting heart hubs in. We're spending over $500 million trying to help people get support for their addiction, get them back on their feet, getting them a job, putting a roof over their heads. But I'm not going to tolerate them hijacking a neighborhood. And it's neighborhood by neighborhood. Until you live across from one of these encampments, no one has a clue how they affect the neighborhood. You can't even walk down the street without being harassed. But less than 1% of the people are not going to harass 99%
I've been muted this whole time. Oh, perfect.
Hi, Premier. Davis Legree with iPolitics. I just wanted to follow up on Mr. Scott, if that's all right. Your office is directing reporters who have questions about the decision to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I'm wondering if that implies a possible question of criminality involved in this decision, and I'm just wondering what exactly you have been briefed on.
Well, you know something, I would go to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I was informed literally in the parking lot as we're going through here. And yeah, go to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I don't want to interfere in a police investigation.
And to follow up from my colleague Barbara in Toronto, she wrote a story recently about how some Canadian companies have raised concerns about your Buy Canadian directives because they say they're just directives. There's nothing stopping Canadian institutions like colleges and universities from still, ignoring them and working with American companies nonetheless. So,
all right. Anyway, we don't need to listen to Ford anymore. For someone to sit there like that and talk about human beings that way makes me so angry. Like, who's responsible for them? Who's responsible for the conditions that they're living in? All right, are we ready to do a little more angry? And then I promise we have some happy stories. I promise. I'm just going to figure out where QP started here. Emotion. I'm going to get us to the beginning of QP. Why don't we all take a quick stand-up break, shake out the angries, and we'll come back, watch a little bit of QP, and then we'll do some positive news stuff, because there is some. There's some, I promise. I'll be right back. I'm going to go refill my tea. everyone just taking some soft jazz for a minute? Yes, these panels. Tyrannical Mrs. May jump scare. Boo. This panel that I'm on right now, Morgan did, as well as the outline on this one up here. If you go look on here, let me show you.
Listen!
We put together these adorable banners for my YouTube and my Twitch, which I love. Yes, she put them together on Canva, but she still put them together, and you guys... Oh, it's loud. It is so hard to figure out how to measure these. Sorry, hold on. This Spotify is so loud in my ears. 2 seconds. There we go. Yeah, absolutely, U235. Morgan put them together. She figured out how to make them fit properly. And you made the cookie. She did make the cookie. And she made this, I believe, and this. Yeah. I love Morgan. There we go. We got the shout out. You did suggest the cookie. There you go. You guys want to go check out Morgan the Fab? Go do it. He's hopefully going to be streaming soon. She does have a Ko-Fi. It's been a huge team effort. You guys have no idea. I would not know. We do have to apply public pressure. I have no idea how to do any of this stuff. I can play the piano, I can talk, but don't ask me to do art stuff because it will be horrific. However, I do want to talk about this really quick. Maybe I should have done it before I said we were going to watch QP because there was a big dip in numbers. People are like, no, thank you. We don't want to listen to QP. Which is fair. I have updated the Patreon, finally. I will actually have it open in just a moment. Alright. I've updated the Patreon. As you can see, Morgan applied her magic here as well. And there's a couple of different options. Maple cookies, which, Morgan, we need to do this next, is fix these. For $5 a month, you get a new role on Discord. You'll get this adorable little cookie beside your name on the Discord. For the $10 one, you get this adorable hippo. And you also get, there's a separate channel on Discord for a Q&A. You guys get to ask the questions that I answer on stream. And only you guys. And only for the month of October. I have it up now just in case people want to start early. But this, you get to choose a scary game for me to play on Twitch in October. Yeah. With democracy. Yeah. Soft jazz is great, Pink Fox. So yeah, we did a little update to those. I said this in the Discord the other day, but I'm getting really close to the 30 days of like, okay, honey, I'm gonna do this for a month, and We'll see how it goes. And I have been blown away by your guys' support because I think I'm going to be able to keep going into October. And that is due to you guys. That is due to people like Pim and Vapor and Morgan and all of the wonderful people who've helped with research, like Miller and Gavin and Lucky. Like, this is not just me speaking into a Twitch stream. This has been a large group effort, and you did lots. I can prove it. People heard you on stream if they caught that testing things out stream. But yeah, I'm taking a minute to say that was AI to say thank you for supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. Huzzah for teamwork. Yeah, that's what I wanted this to be. I wanted this to be a team thing. I wanted this to be a collective thing. This music is getting faster, and it's making me feel like I have to talk faster. Oh my goodness, it's getting even faster. Anyway, just a moment of appreciation for all of the wonderful humans on my team. We'll open up QP. Oh my goodness, guys. This music is actually gonna like... Oh, it's done. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Whew. Long-term group project. I hope so. I hope so. This has been pretty awesome. We've been doing it for... this week 3? Or week 4? I don't know. But it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I'm just super grateful. Alright. All the love to you all. Let's take a look at Pierre Poilievre's face for a little bit, but we'll do it together. Like those baking TikToks where they place chase music. That's literally what I felt like. It's like, why is the music getting faster? And it's getting faster and it's getting faster. And oh my goodness. Anyway. All right. Let's... Thank you, Pim. I would love to start supporting the team. Collective punishment is a war crime. I am a tyrant.
The Liberals are
Is
setting
QP.
criminals free. They're wasting money. They are targeting sports shooters and recreational shooters who abide by the law. The Liberals have increased firearm-related
do a little bit of war crime
crime
as a
by
treat.
30%. That we already knew. Yet
We
the
already
Minister of Public Safety
The
accidentally
jazz got the
revealed the
zoomies.
truth and was recorded doing so. He said that confiscating the firearms of law-abiding firearm owners was a waste of
It
money.
does. Look at how cheery
Does the Prime
Pierre
Minister agree with his
Poilievre with these
minister?
lights. I love it. Hi, Fluffy Fox.
Thank you for the question.
Mr. Speaker, on Sunday I had a conversation with an individual that I've known for many years who recorded it without my knowledge and had it leaked to
Ooh,
a gun
what?
lobbyist. In that conversation...
Hold on a second. I need to back that up for a minute.
Sir?
Merci pour la question.
Thank you for the question.
Mr. Speaker, on Sunday I had a conversation with an individual that I've known for many years who recorded it without my knowledge and had it leaked to a gun lobbyist.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to quickly make note of that. Name. Yeah, that's a bit of a whoopsie. All right, I will play this for you guys.
In that conversation, Mr. Speaker, the subject of the assault-style firearms buyback compensation program was discussed. In trying to address this issue, Mr. Speaker, the individual's frustration, my comments were misguided. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, it's important to have the program in place. This is what Canadians are looking for. And I do want to note that the Leader of the Opposition has voted against every single gun measure.
Oh, he got cut off. Ooh.
By freeing rampant gun criminals and wasting billions of dollars of police and border resources targeting law-abiding, licensed, trained, and tested firearms owners. This government has overseen a 130% increase in violent gun crime. But over the weekend, the Minister of Public Safety accidentally told the truth, and he was recorded doing it. He said that the gun grab is not worth the money, that it will go over budget, and it would be better just to lock up the criminals, but that they're going ahead with the bad policy because it's good politics. Does the Prime Minister agree?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, it's a good thing there's a recording of it so that Canadians can have a look for themselves.
Okay, real quick. A roughly 20-minute conversation the minister had on Sunday with an individual. He reveals to the person he's speaking that the federal government will announce the next phase of the program on Tuesday. The Liberals had planned to move ahead in the fall, would cover individuals who own the assault-style rifles. The individual... Interesting. No mark today? I'm not sure. But if this guy is, you know, I have a feeling he needs to answer some questions. The police would have to come to his home to collect his firearms. I doubt it's going to go that far. I don't think they have the resources. I put an end to this and move on with other criminal justice tools. Constant discussions on the next step. It was because of the Liberal voters in Quebec. Here we go. Quebec is a different place in other parts of Canada, and this is something that is a very big deal for many of the Quebec electorate. That's one of the major things. All right, well, let's see how he tries. Now we have a little bit of backstory. He's basically speaking against the gun laws in word, but not in deed.
Let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker. Canadians want responsible gun control. They wanted it in 1989 after a man killed 14 women at École Polytechnique. They wanted it after 6 people were murdered at the Quebec City mosque shooting. And they wanted it after the biggest mass shooting in our history, where a man opened fire and killed 22 people in Nova Scotia. Mr. Speaker, why are the Conservatives against keeping guns off our streets?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the minister said that his gun grab won't work, that it will go over budget, and that it would be better to lock up criminals, as Conservatives have been suggesting, but that they're going ahead with the gun grab anyway because the Prime Minister wants to pursue electoral politics. Electoral politics, Mr. Speaker. When a mother is hit with a stray bullet, or a police officer is murdered by a firearm, or a bullet flies into a child's bedroom as part of an extortion case, we don't have time for politics. So why is this minister caught on tape playing politics with guns?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, in order to have a real conversation about crime, we need to have a real conversation about guns. Canadians want responsible gun control, Mr. Speaker. They wanted it in 1989 after a man killed 14 women at École Polytechnique. They wanted it after 6 people were murdered at the Quebec City mosque shooting, and they wanted it after the biggest mass shooting in our history, where
this poor man is trying his hardest to save his job. Oh, man.
a man opened fire and killed 22 people in Nova Scotia. Mr. Speaker, why are the Conservatives against keeping guns off our streets? And why has this leader of the opposition voted against every single gun control measure that he has been in Parliament for?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
That minister did have a
Son of the Yukon, I agree.
About guns. Unfortunately for him,
where is he looking?
He was caught on tape. Caught on tape, admitting that the gun.
Sir, the speaker is behind you.
Caught on tape, admitting it would go over budget. Caught on tape, admitting it would be better just to lock up the gun criminals.
You're not
who are
supposed to
doing
address
the
the
crime.
person.
Why is it that Liberals only tell the truth when they don't think anyone is listening?
Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate, it's actually a good thing that this conversation was caught on tape.
Oh my goodness, this poor guy.
It will counter every single claim that this leader of the opposition
Yeah, we don't have to like this guy's policies to just have some human empathy for the guy, because, oh man.
is making. Let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker. Canadians want responsible gun control. We are in a position as a government, we committed to it during the last campaign, Mr. Speaker. Canadians gave us a mandate on April the 28th to ensure that we move forward on this program, and we look forward to its implementation.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. While this government blocks criminal justice reforms that would lock up gun criminals, they want to go ahead and take nearly $1 billion away from border security and police officers to go after licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested hunters and sport shooters, a project that the OPP refuses to enforce. Numerous provincial governments have said they will not go ahead with. They've even had to ask Canada Post to go and collect these firearms. The minister himself has now admitted that it won't work. Why won't they drop the politics and save lives?
Save lives. Save the lives.
Mr. Speaker, if the member is concerned about advancing legislation that's actually going to keep Canadians safe, he would work across the aisle with us as we seek to table legislation during this legislative sitting to ensure that violent repeat offenders are kept behind bars, to make sure the most serious offenders are actually facing stiffer penalties. But Mr. Speaker, it is hard to accept criticism when it comes to keeping our community safe from gun violence from a member who for more than 2 decades has voted against the very specific measures that are designed to take guns off our streets, and he has voted repeatedly on the measures that will weaken our border to prevent the inflow of guns in the first place.
Could care only be addressing punishment other than the crime? Yeah. Also, hello, Salmon Fry.
Against policies that have given Canada a 130% increase in gun violence. And speaking of getting things through Parliament, he says seek to introduce. This government has been in place for 10 years. They have softened penalties for repeat offenders. That minister took the summer off and still has not introduced any criminal justice reforms.
In the week we've been in session.
We put forward a 3 strikes you're out law that would lock up the repeat violent offenders. Instead, they're spending
Sean's got
$700 million
some good ideas.
of police resources going after licensed law-abiding people. Why?
Ugh, every time he sits down, my body just goes, eh. He's so pompous.
Mr. Speaker, I have news from my friend on the other side of the House of Commons. If he believes that I haven't moved forward with legislative efforts this sitting when it comes to criminal justice reform, I would have invited him to have shown up for work on Friday last week. We did that very thing. To seeing 2 additional pieces of criminal legislative reform. One on bail and sentencing that will make sure violent repeat offenders are not walking amongst our streets, and a second that will protect those who are at risk of intimate partner violence or at risk of being victimized by sexual offenses. And when it comes to the summer, I was meeting with law enforcement and provincial counterparts. He was fighting for his job.
John Fraser is pretty good at shots fired.
We cannot suggest that somebody was present or not in the House. I'm assuming he meant it in a very vague way. That something to do with I don't know something else. But
come on!
Give that warning to the member, l'honorable député de Saint-Jean.
The Honourable Member
Come
for Saint-Jean.
on, Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, with its factum to the Supreme Court against Bill 21, Ottawa is basically bordering on conspiracy theory. By challenging state secularism, the Liberals are creating a slippery slope towards disaster scenarios such as banning places of worship. The Liberals even suggest that Quebec might reinstate slavery or executions. This speaks volumes about how Canadians view Quebec, Mr. Speaker. They say, don't give them too much parliamentary sovereignty. They're crazy enough to reestablish slavery. If the government wanted to tarnish Quebecers' reputation, it couldn't have done so
Yes,
better.
this is a story. We'll talk about the Quebec thing.
Withdraw it. The Honourable Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, We are working towards the national interest. This matter is in the national interest, so the federal government must protect the Constitution. As the member knows full well, the Supreme Court of Canada is absolutely the right forum for this type of debate. The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, the federal government is attacking much more than secularism at the Supreme Court. They are also attacking Quebec's parliamentary sovereignty by amending the Constitution through the courts without debate. This is a power grab which goes against the purpose itself of the notwithstanding clause, which is to protect democracy from judiciary governance. If the federal government wants to amend the Constitution, that should be debated in our parliament and in the public space, not in court. Will the government withdraw its brief and stop using judges to undermine Quebec's parliamentary sovereignty? The Honourable Minister of Identity and Canadian Culture. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With all due respect to my colleague, what she's saying is misinformed. The federal government's representations to the Supreme Court will not prevent provinces and territories from continuing to be able to use Section 33 of the Charter and using the notwithstanding clause. The Minister of Justice is sitting right.
I'm going to show you guys this really quick. This is what they're talking about. Bill 21. In 2019, they adopted the bill called the Act Respecting the... Those were not words. Its goal was to make Quebec a place where the government is neutral in regards to religion. Some say this law is unfair to minorities. It's aimed at government workers. This is the one where they can't wear religious symbols when they're on the job. It was created to reinforce the secularism of the state. In Quebec, this idea of secularism began to take hold after the Quiet Revolution. Yeah, it's been challenged several times. It even talked about teachers included in the government workers. They included the teachers in that, and so that they couldn't wear any of their religious garb on the job. And the Supreme Court of Canada has agreed to examine the challenge to bill. That's what they're talking about.
Next to me and would be happy to explain to her what we are suggesting as a process. We will always defend the rights and freedoms of Canadians. We are a charter supporting party, always have been, always will be. Thank you. The Honourable Member for Rivière-du-Nord.
I love this
Mr.
guy.
Speaker, when
I think he looks like
fun.
fun.
They're not attacking secularism before the Supreme Court, it's false. What they should be saying is that they're not only attacking secularism. By attacking the notwithstanding clause, they are also attacking the protection of the French language and signage in French. They're even attacking consensual matters such as protecting children's identities in otherwise public trials, or also attacking the absence of lawyers in small claims courts. They're attacking democracy. They're even attacking Quebec's model. Will they finally withdraw the challenge, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Minister for Identity and Canadian Culture. Mr. Speaker, I'm a very proud Quebecer. There are many very proud Quebecers on this side of the House. We have been supporting Quebec for years, for decades, Mr. Speaker. What the member across the way is claiming is untrue. We are the first federal government to officially acknowledge the decline of the French language. We invested heavily to protect French. We're the first in history to invest in out of Quebec immigration targets for Francophone immigration. We increased the percentage. We are supporting and defending the French language. That's what we're doing on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker.
November for Calgary East. After 10 years of Liberals, food prices have skyrocketed 40%. This Prime Minister said he'd be different, and he's right. He's even more expensive than
After 10 years of Licks food.
Racking up the federal debt and blocking anything that would help bring food prices to come down. Liberal inflation is making food prices 75% over the bank's target. Why doesn't this Prime Minister just get out of the way so Conservatives can pass common sense legislation like the Canada Sovereignty Act and actually bring down the cost of groceries? The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, in the last election, Canadians had a clear choice between a leader that has economic and business experience versus a leader that has none. We are focused on affordability for Canadians, cutting taxes for 22 million Canadians. We are cutting the consumer carbon tax. We are cutting the GST for first-time homebuyers, and we are going to build homes at a scale not seen since the Second World War. I ask the Conservatives to cut the rhetoric and get on board. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I will say though, Ralph, think about trying to talk and you know you're being watched by thousands of people, and people on the other side are yelling at you the whole time.
The finance minister said he would bring down the cost of groceries Thanksgiving 2023. It's almost Thanksgiving 2025, and the cost of groceries has skyrocketed. It's like the cost of living crisis that they created. Their solution to that is to spend even more than Trudeau did. Why doesn't this Prime Minister stop competing with Justin Trudeau for the most expensive Prime Minister in Canadian history and get out of the way so Conservatives
They
can fix
really,
everything
really, really cannot let Justin Trudeau go.
The Honourable Secretary of
They just
State
can't.
for Financial Institutions. Mr. Speaker, this last summer we crossed the country, went from coast to coast to coast, and the message from Canadians was resoundingly clear. They want us to spend less and invest more in national projects, invest more in building our country, bringing down interprovincial trade barriers, working together, Mr. Speaker. We have a plan to build the strongest economy in the G7. That is exactly what we're going to do. I ask the Conservatives to stop the rhetoric and get on board.
The Honourable Member for Haldimand Norfolk.
10 years of Liberal rule, and what do Canadians have to show for it?
Leslie Lewis.
Food prices, food insecurity, 4 million visits to food banks in Toronto alone last year. A quarter of Canadian households cannot afford to put food on the table.
Conservative talking points need therapy to get over Trudeau.
Than the year before. So, when will this Prime Minister stop obstructing Parliament and introduce a budget that lowers food prices?
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
You know, Mr. Speaker, when Canadians are facing a hard time, they want a
Great color in her suit. I love that.
And today, as the Canadian Building Trades Unions visit us in Ottawa, celebrating the investments in major projects that are going to create great paying jobs for tradespeople all across this country.
This guy right here is like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to answer more questions this morning.
22 million Canadians, when making sure that Canadians have what they need, Canadians chose well, and they chose this government, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Haldimand Norfolk.
Canadians want a government that will deal with this affordability crisis. This crisis happened on their watch. This Prime Minister promised Canadians that they could judge him by the price of groceries. Well, the numbers are in. Apples are up 14%.
Oh, not the apples.
Potatoes are up 16%.
Not the potatoes. Where's the potato mage?
When will this Prime Minister stop obstructing Parliament and introduce a budget that will bring back food affordability to Canada?
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Canadians are intelligent, and they knew better than to place their vote with the opposition, with Conservatives.
All right, let's.
Indeed,
Where are we?
voting against everything that was making their lives more affordable. Whether it was a school food and nutrition program, whether it was the Canada Dental Care Plan, whether it was investment in seniors, increasing support.
Shall we skip a little bit and see if we can find some more interesting questions?
2027. Builders are laying off their trained staff, even though.
Nope. Try again.
10 years of this Liberal government.
Nope. Try again.
We will want his support, the Honourable Member from Montmorency-Charlevoix. After 10 years.
Nope. Same thing. Holy smokes.
Across the way is going to learn that the hard way, Mr. Speaker. The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, there's been a shocking revelation from Radio-Canada. Members of organized crime groups are entering Canada on student permits in order to get rich through fraud, car theft, identity theft, and more. Once again, instead of taking responsibility, the Department of Immigration is burying its head in the sand. In the department's response to the news story, IRCC blamed universities, even though this is exclusively a federal government responsibility to screen people entering Canada, including screening international students. The Department of Immigration is responsible for this. When will it get to work and fight organized crime instead of blaming universities, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Ooh, I love the glitter.
Canadians gave us the mandate to restore the international student program and to bring our levels back to reasonable levels, and that's what we are doing.
It is. Yep. That's a fabulous
According
outfit.
to the latest numbers, there's been a decrease of 144,000 study permits granted. We want to protect foreign students and protect Canada as well. Thank you.
I'm
The
not
Honourable
sure that
Member
was
for
a
Dauphin
response.
Jean.
But...
Well, apparently the minister hasn't heard the Radio Canada.
Okay. Already asked the question.
Is also we must us. Thank you.
Since the minister was appointed,
Whoa.
many more people have been abused
Oh, Michelle
and
Rumpel
defrauded
Garter.
by
That's why.
Canadian immigration
I love the leather
consultants
jacket.
who contribute to the chaos in Canada's immigration system while the minister just lets them.
We're not going to listen to them.
The minister mentioned her record as immigration minister in a provincial government. During that time, a Nova Scotia auditor found that there were the following issues. No process to determine provincial labour market needs and assess whether those were being addressed by Nova Scotia's provincial nominee program, and none of the 8 recommendations from a 2020 fraud risk assessment had been implemented. So I'll ask the same question. Why did the Prime Minister put an incompetent minister into this position?
Okay.
The Honourable Minister of Immigration.
Thank you very much,
Really?
Mr. Speaker.
She can call her
Again,
incompetent?
I want to thank the Prime Minister. In fact, I want to thank the people in Halifax West for electing me to this parliament.
That's right. You tell her.
I am here to do the best job I possibly can do with my experience, with my expertise, and with my love for Canada and love for Canadians. And we will continue to do that. As for my record as Minister of Immigration from 2013 to 2021 provincially, the record is clear. I would invite parliamentarians to go look at it. Thank you very much.
The Honourable Member for Richmond Hill South.
After 10 years of
Nope. Nope. You gotta start with something else, and we'll let you up.
Newmarket, Aurora.
After 10 years of this.
Nope. Same thing.
South Langley.
Mr. Speaker, the minister said she worked all summer, and the system is worse.
Whoa.
The minister,
Whoa.
The minister promised that he'd be different, but illegal border crossers have been surging into Canada to abuse the asylum system all work, and the minister has done nothing to stop it. She hasn't strengthened the Safe Third Country Agreement. She hasn't reviewed the benefits they receive to put a stop to the ones they come into our country. She's let the asylum seekers become even worse, and the predecessor that she followed. The Prime Minister chose to be incompetent and chose a incompetent minister for the cabinet. Why?
What? The Prime Minister chose... Hold on. The Prime Minister chose to be incompetent and chose a competent minister? Is that what he just said?
For our borders. Make it more investment. A incompetent minister. The Prime Minister chose to be incompetent and chose a incompetent minister for the cabinet. Why?
Okay.
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, our government is working hard to secure our borders. This morning I had the chance to meet with the president of the CBSA, who advised that border crossings are down 60%, Mr. Speaker. We will strengthen our borders and even make it investing more resources through security screenings, as well as quickly identifying and removing those who are inadmissible. We will hire 1,000 more RCMP and CBSA officers, Mr. Speaker. We have Bill C-2 in the House right now, Mr. Speaker. If this party opposite is serious about border crossings and immigration, then they should pass it swiftly, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, but they seem to have moved on, Ralph.
Member for Hamilton West.
Alright, don't start with 10 years, don't do it.
Mr. Speaker, Hamilton is proud to
Oh.
be Canada's steel city, with a long history of organized labor.
Oh, liberal question for a liberal. We're gonna skip those.
Thompson Nicola.
The public safety minister.
Wow, that's a tie.
It's true.
Oh no, he's got to get up again.
This confiscation buyback is an incredible boondoggle. Now let's actually hear what he had to say. This is the mandate I was given by the Prime Minister to complete this and not revisit this. Sounds like he doesn't even believe in this. So if the public safety minister doesn't believe in this program, why are we spending $742 million taxpayer dollars to keep it going?
The Honourable
Fractal fuchsia.
Mr. Speaker, I've addressed this issue a number of times, but let me just make it very personal, Mr. Speaker.
Uh-oh.
In the last 4 months in this role as Minister of Public Safety, I've received a great deal of vitriol from the gun lobby, Mr. Speaker. If you go into my social media accounts, you will see hundreds, if not thousands, of comments of hatred that's coming.
I'm sorry. You know, we're working on empathy, but his excuse is that people are mean to him on Twitter.
Through the gun lobby, Mr. Speaker. What the party opposite is doing is reinforcing that. We have a serious plan to ensure that guns are off our streets. That's why we will be going forward and implementing this program, Mr. Speaker. I invite the party opposite to come on board and ensure that our streets are safe.
Honourable member for Kamloops, Thompson, Nicola.
Don't say it.
It's always somebody else's fault, Mr. Speaker.
Oh,
What
that's
this
rich.
minister fails to mention is that in Bill C-5, he voted so that people who do drive-by shootings can serve their sentence on house arrest. People who do robberies with guns, house arrest, Mr. Speaker. Nobody wants a part of this program. Canada Post doesn't want a part of it. Local law enforcement doesn't want a part of it. OPP doesn't want a part of this $742 million boondoggle. The minister told us that he just
Boondoggle.
has
That's their word of the. We'll have to add that to our bingo.
So why are they still intent on having this program go forward when all he wants to do is end it?
End it.
The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives constantly want U.S.-style politics here, whether it's the 3 strikes or you're out rule or assault rifles on our streets, which the Conservatives would make legal again.
That's right.
Mr. Speaker, we've seen these policies fail in the U.S. and they won't work here either. Come up with some comprehensive, meaningful change, like the change that we're going to bring with bail reform and sentencing reform, Mr. Speaker.
Well said.
The Honourable member for Oxford.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberal gun grab scam unfairly targets law-abiding Canadians while giving criminals a free pass. This failed scam has been rejected by the police, the provinces, Canada Post, and now even their own public safety minister. In a leaked audio, he says that the Prime Minister pressured
She did start
him. He
strong.
admits that this plan won't work, and he even promised to pay his tenants bail if he's arrested. You can't make this up, Mr. Speaker. What they say in public versus what they say behind closed doors is totally the opposite. So if the minister won't stand behind his own plan, why should Canadians foot the $700 million bill for their scam?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, we're moving forward in a responsible way to make sure that gun ownership in Canada is safe. There is no reason to have assault-style firearms on our streets or in our homes. Mr. Speaker, we're going to be responsible. We're going to make sure that we don't have the gun crisis that we see in the United States just south of us. If Conservatives have their way, they'd make guns free and legal for everyone.
Conservatives have been saying from day one that the gun buyback program is an awful idea. Law-abiding gun owners don't commit gun crime.
That's not true.
Criminals commit gun crime. Gun criminals.
And what's the difference?
Because of the Liberals' failure on law and order. We know that the OPP won't participate in the program. Canada Post won't participate in the program. Local police won't participate in the program. Now we learn that the Minister of Public Safety doesn't want to participate in it either. Why is this minister going ahead with a program that he doesn't want to participate in?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Combating Crime.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives need to get serious about resolving and coming up with solutions when it comes to crime.
I will say she is very well spoken.
Country. When they were in government, Mr. Speaker, they cut funding to the RCMP, to our borders, and they would go back and make assault-style
That's right.
legal in our country. If they cared so much about the safety of our nation, maybe their leaders should get a security clearance.
Oh, well done.
Leaked audio from the public safety minister revealed the truth. Not even he believes the Liberal gun confiscation program will work. He begged a law-abiding citizen, and I quote, "Don't ask me to explain the logic to you. He knows it's wrong." And he admits the Prime Minister is forcing him to ram this failed policy through, even though he knows it won't fix their soft-on-crime record. So, why is the minister still proceeding with this $742 million boondoggle when even he admits it's a failure?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 35 years ago, I was shot by a legal gun-abiding order, and since then, what Canadians want is assault-style firearms to get off our streets, and this is going to happen this year.
Good job.
The honourable member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, Liberal policies for student visas are chaotic in Canada and particularly in Quebec. They allow mafiosos.
That was very well said, H. I agree.
Criminals to get in.
I think so, Neuropunk nonsense.
Ivory Coast
Let's
who
see.
have scammed Canadians out of money who are allowed to come to this country. What is the Prime Minister doing to fight this scourge of fake students who are criminals? The Honourable Minister. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Canadians have given us the mandate
she was
to
Guernsey, that's correct.
establish the international student program at viable levels, and we're doing this. We also have Bill C2 before us in the Parliament, and to get the figures down and avoid spikes in demand, we are trying to strengthen our borders and make them more resilient. So I'd ask all parliamentarians to support this legislation. Thank you. The Honourable Member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, I think that the Minister did not understand the issue. These were visas given to students, and 200 of them are Africans who are part of the mafia there. They're in Quebec. They are committing crimes, scams, car thefts, etc. This is an international ring that is now in Canada.
Not yet,
because
H.
of laxist liberal policies on immigration. Can the Minister
Not
confirm
yet.
that they will solve this problem of false
That is the other
student
thing with
visas?
this current
The Honourable
government
Minister
is
of
there is
Immigration.
very few
Thank you very much,
outside of
Mr. Speaker.
conservatives versus
crime in
liberals.
Canada, regardless of what status they're on, will face consequences.
The IRCC is working with CB.
An administrative question for the
Honourable Member for Calgary-Heritage.
Mr. Speaker, an administrative question for the Prime Minister. I went to check the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website to see what this new state he has announced might look like. There is no map. Can we expect the Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs to upload a map of the borders of this so-called state? Could they identify its capital?
What is he talking about?
Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, and I respect the question. However, at this point, what I want to simply say is that there is no military solution to the conflict at hand. There's only a political solution. And in the vein of Lester Pearson, this side of the party will continue to work for peaceful solutions to ensure that Israel and Palestinians have safe and secure borders for each of them, so they will live in peace together. That is what this side of the House will work on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Calgary-Heritage.
The Palestinian Authority runs a program perpetuating generational genocidal hate with pensions for terrorists who murder Jews. The PA, the PLO, and Fatah all embed terrorism into their institutions. The PLO founded the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, a listed terrorist entity responsible for the attacks on October 7th. If recognition of statehood is to have any real meaning, will the Prime Minister designate this as a state sponsor of terrorism?
What the hell?
Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me also state that Canada supports Israel and its right to defend its people every day. Let me also be clear, Hamas is a terrorist group. It must release hostages immediately. It have been held cruelly for 2 years. It must disarm, and it will play no role in the future governance of a Palestinian state. We will continue to defend the state of Israel, and we will continue to defend the people of Palestine.
Yeah,
to
rock and
ensure
roll
we have
jams,
two
exactly.
states with equal justice and equal rights to prosperity.
This guy's taking a nap.
Mr. Speaker, today is the beginning of Gender Equality Week. There has been progress made, and we need to remain firm in our commitment to strengthen gender equality for all Canadians. We want to build the strongest economy in the G7, and we need the total participation and active participation of women. Can the Minister inform us about measures taken by this government to advance gender equality?
The Honourable Minister of Gender Equality.
All genders.
Thank you very much for this question. We cannot build the strongest economy in the G7 without the participation of women fully. Thanks to our strategy for entrepreneurial women, we've been able to help more than 400,000 women across the country. And with our national action plan, we're taking action to fight feminicide. This week, we recognize the progress accomplished and our commitment to gender equality. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Parkland.
Oh, great, guys. Look at how great we are.
Mr. Speaker, in the last 4 months,
$4
billion in investment has fled Canada. And that's in addition to nearly $500 billion lost in 10 years under this Liberal government. Now, the Prime Minister promised strength, but all that he's delivered is weakness. His oil and gas production cap is killing Canadian prosperity. Now, Conservatives today are calling for the end of this production cap. Will the Liberals keep their boot on the neck of our energy sector, or will they vote with Conservatives to axe the cap?
Axe the cap. Oh, good. We've got another axe.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians voted to strengthen our economy by growing our energy and natural resources industries while combating climate change. We will support innovation, increase our competitiveness, and attract billions of dollars of investment to get to net zero.
When?
Let me share something that the Premier of Alberta said just this
here we
weekend.
go.
I am more optimistic than ever that the concerns of Albertans are being heard. Perhaps the honourable member on the other side could give up his division and work
I'm
with
sorry,
us to
when
build
did Dale Smith say that?
The Honourable Member for Red Deer.
Red Deer.
10 years of Liberal policies aimed at killing our energy industry have shrunk our economy and driven up unemployment. This Prime Minister
Oh, I've got 10 years again? Okay, we're not listening to 10 years. I'm sorry, guys. I can't listen to the same questions over and over.
Oil and gas emissions cap will continue.
Nope, we did that question already. You are correct, Ralph.
Mr. Speaker, for too long, northern communities like those in my own riding of Labrador have had to rely on diesel-generated electricity to keep the lights on at costs that are too high. Can the Minister share with this House how our new government is replacing diesel with dependable, clean power in the north while helping communities build the sustainable future they deserve?
The Honourable Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs.
Whenever brain rot. Well, I like to think that we're all doing this together, and we're all just
transitions from diesel to dependable clean
hanging out together.
First Nation wind and battery project.
Okay, friend.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go back to last Friday's question. The Liberal government announced it's building 4,000 new homes at the cost of $13 billion at $3.2 million per door. With $3.2 million in boasts, we could build 15 homes, not one. We could build.
Tyranny also loves company.
And with 13,000, we could build 20,000 homes.
That's how that
not
works,
4,000.
right?
The math doesn't add up. With the Liberals, it always costs more and more and more.
Oh, it's loud in there.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this question.
The Conservatives are already getting the math wrong, and we need to set this straight. Build Canada Homes will have $13 billion to invest in affordable housing across the country. We have a number of projects to launch that with, 4,000 homes in 6 cities across the country, 700 homes in Nunavut, as I mentioned earlier,
and $1 billion into supportive transitional housing. That'll be roughly 5,000 homes for people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. We're going to see tens of thousands of homes across Canada built.
Morgan, impossible.
For support on the budget. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Winnipeg Centre.
Mr. Speaker, this weekend, thousands of people across Canada joined Draw the Line protests to send the Prime Minister a very clear message. Enough is enough. Why?
We stand
Because the Prime
Liaison.
Minister and Cabinet are pushing through legislation and measures violating the rights of workers, violating the rights of Indigenous peoples, violating the rights of migrants, while undermining gender equality, civil liberties, disability justice, and environmental protection. So my question through you, Mr. Speaker, is why is the Liberal government bulldozing over our Constitution to fast-track their corporate agenda?
Woo woo.
The Honourable Minister.
Oh, they're so quiet in the corner. It's so sad.
What the question is in all of that. But what I can say is this
Come on.
was elected, Mr. Speaker, to focus on Canadians, to be pragmatic, to stand up for Canada, to make sure people had great jobs, to make sure that
This is
Canadians
not
can count
answering the
on
question.
their government when things are tough. And that's exactly what we're doing day in and day out, Mr. Speaker. We're
Yeah, she's
focused
great.
on what Canadians need, what they're telling us they want to invest in. We've got an ambitious plan, Mr. Speaker, and we're acting on it.
Yeah.
That is all the time we have for questions.
Hey, we made it. Any poos?
It being 3:07, the House will now proceed to the taking of the deferred recorded division.
Nope. Yeah, I don't want to answer the question, so I'm going to pretend that I don't know what you asked. That is accurate, unfortunately. Yikes. One good, solid question that wasn't the same as everything else. And they couldn't even be asked to answer it. Oh, so rude. I know, the NDP deserves a lot better. Speaking of the NDP, Morgan, ask me after because I don't remember. Music is loud. Okay. Oh, that's why, because I'm capturing it on the wrong thing. 2 seconds. There, that should be better. Hopefully. Better? Can't hear it now. Oh, great. How about now? I know, they do need rules about repeat questions. You know, or do like they do with reporters, where they can do one question and one follow-up. Because it's just a lot of the same thing over and over and over again. Alright, speaking of the NDP, we're going to watch something positive. And that is that Avi Lewis has officially announced and been accepted. Oh, there it is. As a leadership contestant. So, what we are going to do is not that. Is we are going to go to his website and we're going to watch his announcement video because we need some positivity. Hold on. All right, let's do some positive, shall we?
Life in Canada today feels on the edge. Everyone seeking just a little stability, everyone told, you're all on your own. It doesn't help that we're under economic attack. Disruption grenades flying over the border without warning.
Our 51st state.
But there's an even bigger crisis, one that Donald Trump only magnifies. It's the everyday emergency of just trying to get by in an impossible economy. Whether you're taking care of loved ones, hustling with multiple gig jobs, or punching the clock 9 to 5, working hard doesn't earn you a living. $100 for a cell phone plan? $300 for a cart of groceries? Several thousand a month for rent or a mortgage payment? These days, every politician claims to be shocked by the costs. What they don't talk about is why. The billions in profits for the tiny group of corporations that control every part of our economy. 3 phone providers.
Turning the mic on first. I will say, whoever did the music in the background of this they hired a good music person.
3 grocery giants, 5 oil companies, and the 5 big banks that fund them. And when it comes to those oil and gas CEOs, they're not just hoarding extreme wealth, they're foreclosing on our shared future. Every summer now, wildfires poison the air, incinerate entire towns we love. And you know why it's happening, because liberals and conservatives in Ottawa let them get away with it. In the 1970s, my grandfather David Lewis, one of the founders of the NDP, said it well. The government and big business both hold hands in your pocket. His generation refused to accept a rotten deal.
Sorry, this is super
They want
loud.
public health care, pensions, the whole social safety net that used to catch people when the economy tumbled. That's the tradition of struggle I was raised in. I came of age in the fight against free trade deals. You remember the ones that killed hundreds of thousands of jobs and made us so vulnerable to U.S. bullying today. Along the way, I butted heads with the powerful.
You're gonna put them now. Why you say that? Prove me wrong then and abrogate it. I'm telling you, listen to me, Louis, and let's be finished.
Hold on, Jason. I want to insist that you answer the question. You told the Calgary Herald that you support private health care. I just want to know if the Alliance Party does. You slashed 62 transit routes. You tried to close libraries. You said you'd do it in a heartbeat.
And for 4 decades, I have stood with workers, telling stories of working class heroes, organizing for dignity in factories and fields, classrooms and care homes, shop floors and fishing fleets. Now, I want to stand with you and anyone who believes that the job of government is to goddamn govern. Like with a wealth tax, a national cap on rent increases, a public option for food and groceries, health care that covers you from medication to mental health, a Green New Deal that creates millions of good-paying jobs. Elites want us to believe that these kinds of changes are impossible.
Yeah, a little bit of hype. We're going to have a little bit of hope hype.
Rural against urban, unions against environmentalists, everyone against immigrants. Keep us punching down so we don't look up. But our job as New Democrats is to do exactly that. Bring everyone together. Dream big again. Put the people's demands to the powerful and win. Remind all Canadians that they are the money, but we are the many.
Oh,
my name is Avi.
I just got goosebumps, y'all. They are the money, but we are the many. I love that.
Lewis, and that's why I'm running to be leader of the federal NDP.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent. I just thought after QP, I would save that for afterwards. So we could have just a little bit of a boost in our day. Why is the leaf green? I don't know. Good question. It is good campaign content. Yeah, he's doing a great job. Thought there was one more.
Life in Canada today. I mean, we have a government, we have essentially a liberal conservative coalition passing the major pieces of legislation, which are fundamentally intended to change the nature of Canadian society. And I don't think we're actually talking about that. We have a militarization plan where Carney found $9 billion between June and April. But also the cupboard is bare and we're having 15% public spending cuts. And the plan is to ramp.
Feels good to have some honesty.
Up to $150 billion of military spending a year. That's the equivalent of the entire education system to militarize our society. If we're going to go.
Oh, anyway, go check out some of his stuff. He is, as of right now, the only candidate that is Oh, I don't want to watch that again. The only candidate that has been officially posted to the NDP website as a contestant. Let's just skim over his little. Oh, come on, internet! I believe in you. Journalist, educator, and activist. He's a two-time federal NDP candidate. In 2004, his documentary The Take chronicled Argentina's movement of democratic worker-controlled business, shown in occupied factories from Chicago to Cairo. He founded The Leap. Okay. Message from the Future reached millions. Yeah, his wife, Naomi Klein. Very cool. He pioneered political coverage for youth audiences and Much Music. Interesting. So yeah, as of right now, if we look at the NDP leadership contestants, that's the only one that's officially official. Yeah. I just thought, yeah, I watched that and I was like, oh man, there's a little bit of hope in our future. Yeah, his dad and his grandfather was one of the founders of the NDP party itself, so. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk, I think, Hopecore is eating well tonight. Yeah, let's end there. I think we deserve to have a bit of a happier ending to stream, because it was a little rough today. A little rough. Wednesday, I believe, let me quickly double check. Grenadier, he is not a Benepo baby. Yeah. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, guys, for coming. I'm gonna raid you over to... Who is live right now? We've got Elemental.
Do it, lady.
Live. Thanks for the follow, Guernsey. Alright, that should work. Have a great rest of your Monday, all. Say hi to One Topic. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Same time, same place. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.